All right, folks, it's raining and it's cold, and my house is down to 75 degrees. Oh my. Oh my. Look at this. Makin Bacon. Let's get that beautiful bacon going today. I did absolutely nothing yesterday. I just want everybody to know that. Did not do a thing at all. Tell you what, these little golf ball indents in this thing don't always get clean. You clean it, but you can't scratch the stuff out. What a deal! I do not like tearing open packaging. Yesterday, I felt completely worthless. Well, now this is stupid. I never even put that in the fridge to thaw, but hey, that's okay. We'll just cook it frozen. Yeah. How's everybody? Hi, Fred Hingle. Good morning from the lost cornfields of Indiana. Somebody drove in there in the 1950s and they never found their car or the people again. One of the best movies I'd ever seen was in Indiana. I didn't see it in Indiana, but I believe it was filmed there, was Hoosiers. That was a great flick based on a true story. That was a good movie. What happened to sports? Sports has become political with Colin Kaepernick, and I call him that on purpose because I have no respect for him. Football seemed to do just fine until he decided to grandstand and do what he did. Silly. I have no interest in pro sports. I never did anyway, to be fair. Football seemed boring to me. I was a hyper kid and I liked trucks. Football had nothing to do with trucks. Not a darn thing. My dad and all the men in the family watched football. Oh, really? That's cool, Jessica, and good morning. I'm a baby night fan, the general won a man. What is that, Fred? Hey, doggy, good morning. But Hoosiers was a good movie. The coach was interesting. But sports today, I was thinking about that. My last workplace, that's all they talk about. Sports, football. They're into the Dallas Cowboys, a lot of them. I never understood that. You live in Georgia, and you're going to go for the team that's not your state. And I was talking to somebody at work the other day. I'm not into sports, but I try to relate. Hey, Huckleberry. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Did they catch who did it? You too, Jessica, and thank you. Nobody survived the fireworks plant. Kind of figured that. First they said 19 were missing. I said, they're not missing, they're dead. They're gone. And I saw on Facebook where people are making very, very rude comments. That wasn't a fireworks plant. I think it was a bomb plant. Whatever. That thing blew up with such force that it ignited and bent up all the employee vehicles in a parking lot that wasn't even right at the building. It was separate lot. I don't know why people laugh at tragedy. I don't know why people laugh at people slipping on ice and falling I don't find that funny. Yeah, gambling, man, that'll eat up your money fast. That's right, Jessica. I was never into sports. Part of that was I was never big. Football was boring. When I was a kid, it didn't hold my attention. I grew up in Los Angeles and I got more out of going to the Pacific Ocean and the beach and the tide pools and riding in the truck than anything else in my life. Kind of like a dog that way. I like to ride in the truck. I like the ocean. You look at people, sports, I just can't get into it like people do. They live for that. That's all they talk about is the last game of that play. And to me, it's dead end. And it's been that way with a lot of things. When I was in Prescott, as a young adult, I didn't have the cool truck or the cool car. I had a 72 Dodge. Nobody was into that. And they had Cudas and Chevelles and GTOs and lifted trucks, and there I was with my Dodge. People made fun of that. But I would pull and talk to the guys, and they'd talk the same thing over and over. Oh, it's a 4-barrel, it's a Holly, it's a Rottenchester, it's a whatever, Edelbrock. You know, and I'm like, how we all talk about this. It's almost like the guys are getting their penis stroked when you talk about their car. They love to go on and on about the car and talk about it over and over and over again. I'm like, okay, there's no more nectar to extract from this conversation. God made me that way. I will ride something hard, really hard. I rode Hong Kong hard. Now, I don't care. I don't care. Hello, dirty old man. Oh, wow. So they sent somebody, but did they catch the punks who did it? And they should be charged. Hello, Sam. Motorcycles are fun, but I'm getting older. I'm not going to ride a motorcycle the way these crazy people drive. My reflexes will not be as quick as they were. And so anyways, I ride something hard until I get sick of it. And I always look at those things that never changed. What never changed? I love music, I love the ocean, I like trucks, and I like ships. But I'm not going to stand around with a bunch of truck geeks. When I was in Prescott, it just got so ridiculous to watch. People go one in town to the other, back and forth, speed, run lights, act stupid, and they thought they were cool with their girl with the half shirt on and no bra sitting next to them. The girl felt like she had graduated from Harvard or something to be seen in a lifted up pickup truck. And it didn't take me long to realize as a new Christian, you know, this is kind of stupid. This is really stupid. You had 40-year-old men that looked way older than I do now, big old pot nut driving in their hoopty with some teen girl hanging on the passenger side with her little titty shirt on, and I'm like, Is she old enough to be with you? Probably not. I remember Mountain Mama was the local, never saw her. I didn't want to see her. She was an old woman. She had a CB radio in Prescott. She was a piece of work. She had a base station. People said she had crystals in the set. Crystals were supposedly illegal, but it gave you more output. She could be heard for miles. And she'd get on that CB and dominate the radio. And she was friends with a lot of these young guys. She'd provide the alcohol and she'd pull up her shirt and let them suck her boobs or something. And there was a couple of us that would talk, and we tried to get on 19, breaker 19, and said, no, that's too busy. And Mountain Mama didn't like me. Who is this Dodger? He's irritating. I don't like him. I said, well, honey, that's just too bad. It's a CB radio. Deal with it. And some guy got on there and said, you better watch it, Dodger. We're all friends with her. We'll find out where you are and we'll rough you up. I said, you're threatening me, huh? I said, I don't think that's a good idea. Oh my gosh, you had bullies on the CB. Bullies. And I had a friend named Ron, and he had a 60s comment. And he goes, man, I'm getting tired. I said, let's get off of there. We'll meet up. We'll go to 19. We'll say, go downtown, and we'll go to 3. She had the fanciest CB radio in the 80s, and it had them little, chaser lights, and as soon as there was a conversation on a channel, it'd lock onto that channel. Then when it was done, it would search somebody talk and it'd lock on. So when it was quiet out there, her thing would lock onto 3. The 19 wasn't busy. And 19 was busy one night. I said, hey, comment. I said, downtown, 10-4. And I heard her say, oh, they're going to 3. I'm like, what is this woman's problem? And one day, I don't know what it was. It was a rainy day or something, and nobody was cruising. I was by myself, and I got on the radio, and I called somebody. I said, you out there? And Mountain Mama started in again. I said, Mountain Mama, I'm not even talking to you, man. I said, can you just lay off of me? I said, I'm calling my friend. I said, you don't own the radio. Dodger, you need to calm down. Why don't you come up here and drink a few? I said, I'm good, ma'am. No thanks. And I heard one of the guys call in. He says, I see Dodger over there. We'll go get him. We'll bring him up there. Man, I started my truck. I looked around. I tore out of there. I'm like, man, where are these guys? I'm being watched. So even back then, it's like now, you have trolls on the internet. You have the CB trolls. They were getting off on hanging out with Mountain Mama. She'd pull out a boobie, let him suck on it. She provided alcohol, and they hang out at her house. Never was quite sure where it was. She was on a hill somewhere in Prescott that overlooked the city. I'm like, what a sad woman. What a sad, sad grown adult woman hanging around with kids and 20-something-year-olds. What is this idiot? Peepo is, we know who that is. That's jackass on a stick. Hello, David. Hello, Chris. I'm scrolling up. They're pressing charges. They should. So back to the conversation about sports. I was talking to somebody the other day, and I said the only one that I have respect for was Dan Marino of the Miami Dolphins. He was loyal to that team forever. They told me he actually made a Super Bowl in his freshman year, but never won one. And team loyalty doesn't exist. Every year, the players go for the highest money. And I said, what's the point of football? When you have a team, don't you want to keep the team? But they constantly trade out for the highest bidder. Hello, Cheryl. Hello, Motor Oil. Hello, Tony. And Dan Marino was a decent man. If anybody deserved a Super Bowl win and a ring, it was him. It's a shame he never got it. But I like brand loyal. These guys are pimps. They go from the Broncos, they go over here, they go over here. You know, and then like in the case of the Broncos, you had Peyton Manning. Every time he played Indianapolis, he couldn't win because that was his old team and he wasn't going to play. He just wasn't going to play. And I'm like, you know what? You should have just stayed there, dude. You should have just stayed there. And I hate the fact that that's what has happened in America. You grew up and you got behind people. Now the people shift from one place to the other. It's kind of sorry if you ask me. Yeah, Dan was awesome. He's a guy I respect. And again, I'm no football expert, but Dan Marino was one of a kind. He was one of a kind, absolutely. And the video is Makin Bacon, and I'm making bacon. If anybody was here, I'd give you a piece. This is hickory smoked stuff, too. The best of the best. It's cold down here today and rainy, folks. Hey, Cheryl, what's it doing in Maine? Did you get the nor'easter up there yet? They were talking 20-foot waves hitting shore. That's, nor'easters can be bad. I remember I actually read the book, and I saw the TV movie. Well, no, was it made for TV? I don't know, but I saw The Perfect Storm. It was a great, fabulous read. Fabulous read. Gave me a little window into the fishing culture of New England, and they never did find them boys. Big cargo ships were lost in that one. I don't know, I think it's funny. I should have been a New Englander because of my love for the history. The whalers that came out of Massachusetts. The story of Moby Dick was actually inspired by the Essex. I read the book just this past winter. It was an outstanding story, but it was awful. And the guys that survived all of that, open boats across the Pacific, and what they did, they went back. They went back to it. They were eating each other. I mean, I think if I survived something like that, I think I'd hang it up. I'd get back and say, you know what, I think I'm going to work at the lumber yard or something. I don't want to do this no more. I can't imagine being reduced to an open boat and when other of your crew pass you, you're eating them to survive. But a sperm whale came up and damaged the ship, damaged the Essex and caused it to sink. And wow. 36 degrees. Wow. I think that football, it's just changed so much from when I was a kid. The Super Bowl is as old as I am. I believe this year will be the 60th one. And I didn't fit into the culture. My dad was a diehard football guy. He worked at an insurance office downtown Los Angeles. Weekends, barring the projects he needed to do, mow the yard, do whatever he did, and then watch a football game. And I was criticized by both my parents for not getting into sports. My dad's brother and his uncle would go to grandma's house for Thanksgiving. After the big feast, they'd lay on their big bellies on the floor in front of the big floor console Magnavox television. And me and my cousin and us kids had nothing to do with that. We were running in the yard, chasing, acting up, doing what kids do. I never got into sports. Never. I got into track and cross country because I loved to run, but I was never a sports guy. When I drove the bus in Duluth, I picked up hockey teams and basketball. Hello, George Baker. Welcome. I like watching some basketball. I like watching some hockey. I got a bad taste in my mouth for football. I remember one night I took Central High School in Duluth to Denfeld on the west side. And they lost the game bad. They got clobbered. And I drove just from West End to Central, and in the dark, aside from the fact it was cold, fall had hit us early and it was very cold, and you smelled all that stinky BO, and I'm driving and the coach is behind me and I hear some kid in the back of the bus yelling at the top of his lungs, "Effing game! Effing game! Effing game!" I'm like, geez, dude, chill out. We get to the school. I'm like, good, they're out of here. Open the door and the coach says, "Shut the door and turn the bus off." So I shut the door and turned off the bus. Turned the key to the accessories, turned on the dome lights. He stood next to my seat right here and cussed out and yelled out the team. And everything inside of me is going, man, take this shit and get off of my bus. I don't want to sit here and hear this. Grown man going to cuss out his team. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. And I just learned, you know what? Sports is no longer about having fun. Look at what's happened to T-ball. Parents beating up the ref over T-ball. Are you serious? Good morning, Eugenia. Hello, Drum. Well, you know what? I don't know why, but in the last year, a lot of things have been flooding. I guess because my dad passed away. Was it? Now I've lost my thought. Last year. And all this stuff is flooding back about the bad stuff. You know, it's not that I'm sitting there. I do stuff. And the thoughts come cascading in about growing up. It was not a well-adjusted childhood. I was high energy. My dad was not. My mother was rude to him. He'd go to hug her. She'd push him away. When that woman didn't get her way, she'd go in her room and shut that door and wouldn't talk to anybody for days. She would clam up. She'd play that moody BS. And I remember growing up going, gosh, it's so uncomfortable in here. And realize things when I was a kid. I ran in the neighborhood with kids, some good, some bad. But I was the loser in school because I had thick glasses. I was teased for that. I was bullied a lot. Then when I moved to Arizona the last 2 years of my high school life, well, good. I excelled in track, cross country, moved to a new place. Nobody there knew me before. So they thought I was cool. I've represented Prescott High School and made the record books. I got good grades my junior and senior year in school. Life was good. I had girlfriends. I go to the school dances. I never went to a school dance in Mammoth ever. I'm like, I'm not going to no school dance. No way. They'd have the Sadie Hawkins dance. Anybody remember the Sadie Hawkins dance? Why would I get sick of you in 10 seconds, Eugenia? Where's that coming from? I am drum, but you know what? I was thinking this morning, I've got some problems. I've got this stupid little thing, this fault of mine that is a besetting sin, and I'm tired of it. Obviously not tired enough to kick it once and for all. And it's all because of the loneliness. It's all because of the life I live. Sometimes I despair a little bit. I go, man, I go to work, I go home. I go to work, I go home. My video channel exists for the pure, simple reason that I don't have community. I haven't had it. When I divorced, oh my gosh, I had no community at all. People are becoming more and more distant as time goes by. And then I moved to Georgia, not totally knowing the dynamic. And the dynamic out here is not my cup of tea, just like sports wasn't. I'm not in the culture out here. The culture out here is lacking. It doesn't fulfill me. Man, I would do better in Chinatown. If I could actually afford to live in Chinatown, oh my gosh, that'd be perfect for me. Asian culture, the food, all that. I could totally dig with that. But it's expensive. I mean, you go to San Francisco or New York, you're going to pay big money. I don't make that kind of money. And you're not going to be able to buy a house in that. But I ask over and over, what is God's purpose for me here? Eugenia, I have a loud voice too. Hello, Colin. Welcome from down under. Eugenia, I accept you as a chatter. We all have our, can I say it, BS? Who doesn't? Because the way I look at it is, are you willing to live with somebody else's whatever? Some people I can, some people I can't. I mean, if somebody's yelling in here all the time, I'm going to get annoyed at that. Because when I want it quiet, I want it quiet. That's one good advantage of living alone. I get to determine the noise level, nobody else. Unless it's coming from outside with the jackasses that got to make all that racket. Some other people are getting sick of it now. I noticed it wasn't as bad this weekend. I think somebody might have been saying something to them. Sometimes, people don't realize this. When you live in a neighborhood, you think you can do whatever you want. But there's other people that own their homes. And you can't just do whatever you want. And it's a village. And somebody's going to do something. If it's bothering me, I know it's bothering other people. And some people might call and say, look, there's a house with a couple boys making a lot of noise and this crap needs to stop. We don't have councilmen here. And being that, I don't know what they call them. They don't call them councilmen. When I was in Ohio, you had a city councilman for a neighborhood or an area. Unfortunately, they're not white. So if you call to talk to them about any of the neighborhood issues, what do you think they're going to do about the boom boom? Well, they're part of that culture, so they're not going to do anything about the boom boom. And this is why I don't believe in multiculturalism. Because white people, all the shit that's said about us, I don't care what anybody says. When we came to America, we built cities and neighborhoods. This is something the black and Hispanic community today forgets. You know, people like say, oh, the Mexicans built everything. No, they did not. You go back to 1900s, the black people did not build cities in this country. White people did. Immigrants from Germany and Poland and Hungarians and Britain, they built this stuff. And know your facts, people. The blacks picked the cotton and they did the slave stuff in the South. They did not build American cities. And let me read this. Yeah, Drum, sometimes loneliness is awesome. Hello, Ellie. Oh, Ellie, you're a good woman, man. Don't give up that easy. Yeah, I love Asian culture very much. But anyways, back to the... No. I get so mad about this revisionist history being taught children today. This comment made that, well, the Mexicans do the job that nobody else wants to. Excuse me. I remember the 1970s, 1980s in Mammoth. I didn't see a Mexican on a framing crew. I didn't see a Mexican on a roofing crew. They were white boys. They were white boys with their job box and their pickup trucks. You know why that changed? Because construction companies wanted to hire cheap help. That's why. You see, America's all about the dollar. And we sold out because of the dollar. That's why we get our shit from China, because of the dollar. If we had things made in the USA and people pay a little bit more money for them. So in a pickup truck and in your car now, there's something called a blend-door motor. It's a big square thing with a little notched stud that sticks out, hooks into a door, and when you flip your dial from heat to cold, the thing goes and shuts a damper so the heat comes in. Those are designed to break, wear out, they're cheap-ass plastic, and then to get to it is a pain in the butt. You got to get upside down and turn yourself into a pretzel and get a wrench, and you can't see, and you got to feel it, you got your finger, and if you got a fat hand. So I'm like, screw that, I'm going to hire my coworker to do it so I don't have to yell at myself and cuss up a storm trying to get it fixed. America wanted cheap, and that's what we get. That's what we get. Garbage. Yes, Drum, and we get crap. People say, oh, it's made in China. Hold on. I lived in Hong Kong. The Chinese don't buy the crap that we buy. Go to China. Go look at their old buildings and their woodwork. Oh my gosh. There's nothing in America that compares to old Chinese stuff. Nothing. Handcrafted, beautiful, lasting through the ages. Their temples, their old stone homes with that, the curved beams that come off the edge like pagodas. Man, Asian culture, they don't buy the crap we buy. They sell it to us. They're in our flea market selling all that plastic Hello Kitty light up beep 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 crap. Mommy, can I get that? No, it's crap. Mommy, I want it. Yeah, that one. Hey Cheryl, you want some bacon with me? Ellie, thank you, but it was a struggle. I'm going to be very honest with what I say. Okay? I'm a flag-waving, Chevy, Dodge, Ford, toting guy. I've had all three trucks. I feel moved when I hear the national anthem. Okay? But I had a woman at Denver schools, a Hispanic woman. She went to Hong Kong to go see her son who was working over there. She come back and she said, Michael, I can see why you liked Hong Kong. She said it puts American cities to shame. I said, I know it does. You can't walk around New York City. I'm talking New York City. By yourself, all hours of the day or night. You can do it in Hong Kong. You think about downtown anywhere in the United States. Why do people get thrilled about downtown? There's nothing to do unless you spend gargantuan sums of money. I remember when America used to be built on parks. They were free. Playgrounds, ball fields, water fountains. You can't even find a water fountain at the park anymore. They turned them all off because everybody vandalizes everything. They did a 5th Street bridge here in Augusta over the Savannah River, and already the local bad boys are tearing up the stuff on there. They had some bongo drums and the little xylophones, and they had everything attached with a cable. Well-made stuff. They've etched all over the big shark that they made out of tools and stuff. They've already, in less than 2 years, are systematically destroying it. You can't have nice things in Augusta. When the bulk of the kids here are nothing but hood rats and just future generations for the criminal justice system, you can't have nice stuff. And I blame the Democrats for this. They don't believe in spanking. They don't believe in discipline. And if you look at what they do, they want to discipline you and me. They want to punish us. They want to take away our rights. AOC doesn't want us who voted for Trump to have a job. She said that. I remember her saying that several years ago. Everybody who voted for Trump, they should make a list and they should be denied employment. What part of our founding fathers and our Constitution do you not understand, airhead? And that's another problem. Letting women have the reins of power. You want to send a country down the shitter? Put the women in charge. And we're doing it, and we have been doing it. And everybody wants the next woman to be president. You know how many people voted for Kamala just because she's a woman? That's not a qualification for why you should vote for somebody to run for office. Men should be the leaders in this country. Women should keep the home fires burning. I don't care what anybody says. They should be teaching their children the fear of the Lord. I know that's a pipe dream. That ain't going to happen. Now they want his and hers SUVs. They want to listen to their rebel music. They want everything their way. And we men have fallen victim to that. We get down on our knees to beg a pretty girl to go out with us. Instead of going, you know what? You're cute, but your attitude is horrible. Bye. When are the men going to lead again? That's right, Ellie. Men are supposed to lead, and they don't. And the Democratic Party is a fail because it's catered to females. Please pray for Mr. and Mrs. Erock. They're going to church this morning. Their first time in a long time. He went and bought his wife a Bible yesterday. They bought some church clothes. And he said to me on the phone, "We're going because of your channel. It's made a difference in my life." And I'm happy to say Amber's laying in bed watching the channel on her phone, and I'm watching it. She's laughing at the things you're saying and loves it. X, you are absolutely true, and I've been guilty of it myself. A beautiful woman has extreme power over us. I have lust, I admit it. I notice a pretty woman. I notice a pretty woman. And yet, what does the Bible say? Charm is deceitful, beauty is vain, but a woman who loves the Lord, she shall be praised. We do not put emphasis on that in our culture. I'm sorry, nobody wants to buy, Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition and see 350-ton Hesse. There's an ideal that we like. There's a definition of pretty that we go by. Ellie, you are absolutely right. I got a new job, and everybody says, "Do you love your new job?" No, I don't. It's a job. God told Adam, "You will work by the sweat of your brow." Do you notice something? Do you notice these Democrats got tons of money coming in? And what is it that they're doing? Screwing up everything. I'm going to say it again. When you are under Christ Jesus, whether you want to admit it or not, there's a sovereign hand of God in your life. Oh, you have free will up to a point. But when you become a Christian, when you finally become a Christian, God puts his hand sometimes and says, "Nope, not going any further this way, Billy, Michael, Ellie, that's it. As I work in your life, I'm going to move those walls in closer and closer. I'm going to start corralling you to a point where you acknowledge that I am Lord over every decision, not you." The devil's disciples, they get all the money, they get all the looks, everything goes good for them. Why? Because the devil has them in his hand. I've even gone as far as to say it would appear to me the devil seems to bless his own. I can't prove that, but it seems that way. But before we lose hope, it's so temporal. We're going to leave this world one day, and guess what? We're going home. This is what I have left of my Deuce truck. That's it. I won't even be taking this to heaven with me. I won't. This house that I worked so hard on, I was sitting on the toilet and had an epiphany. I said, one day I will leave this house. It will eventually be destroyed, either by a bulldozer, the tribulation, vandals, a fire, who knows? Oh, they're doing the same thing here, Ellie. They're taxing the stuff out of us. Slave to the lender, that's right. Getting in debt. Ellie and everybody that's in here, I'm glad you're here. We're not getting the record views anymore. I'm going to lay it out there. This channel's got the faithful. And enough people have come in and out of this channel that unless you're doing something freaky and weird, when you're telling the truth, when you're standing on the truth, when you're not showing your tits, when you're standing on the truth, you're going to have a smaller following. Look at Jesus. He's Lord. Remember this. Palm Sunday. Many were saying, Hosanna, Hosanna, blessed he who comes in the name of the Lord. You want to bet that out of that same crowd a week later, they were shouting, crucify him? Hi, Mina. Mina! Yes, Fred, and I bought this house cash. I didn't believe in getting in debt to buy a house or a vehicle. Housing price in here is like fantasy dream. That's why I think I live in a camper van and live my life to the fullest freedom, and I will never go back to the rat race. Ellie, bottom line is, and you already know this, we just need to trust God one day at a time. We don't have a promise of tomorrow. We just have right now. Right now. Thank you, Mina. Thank you, Drum. Yes, and we need this. You know, my shorts are just for fun. Mina did one yesterday that cracked me up, and I want to apologize. I tried to use that sound sitting on the toilet, and it's that India music, and it goes, it's so funny, but when I went to use it, the volume goes down and some English comes and cuts in on it, and you can barely hear that. So there must be some restriction using it in America versus Nepal. I need to, I don't know if I posted her video. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. She's up there dancing, and she goes, it's so funny. I love stuff like that. It makes people laugh. I still don't know Ellie's channel. Still can't find it. She sent me videos on the messenger and I can see them there, but I can't get to the channel on YouTube. Mina, it's funny. Oh my gosh. You just like to have fun, and I think that's awesome. Ellie, I was talking to Mr. E-Rock last night before the live stream. I also want to just go home. Not this one. Did you feel any of the shaking from the earthquake? They had another big one, 7.1 last night. Where are you, Ellie? What part of the Philippines? You're not in Mindanao, are you? This is not a t-shirt, it's a sweatshirt. The house temperature is down to 75. First time since May. Can you feel it where you're at? Can you feel it up in Luzon? Did it shake up there too? I know that's a ways away. You did feel it. Wow. I hate that. A piece of bacon went down. I clear my throat. I go, it goes up the nose. You breathe in, it goes down. Tickles the throat, you cough it up, and you feel it in your mouth. Isn't that fun? You know you all wanted that play-by-play. Let's look at that footage one more time, Coach. This is how you offend a Muslim. Nothing else needs to be said. Yeah, Ellie, you don't want to be up high. Yes, Ellie. Jessica, you don't like bacon? Or you do? Bacon is good. I've had this in there for a while. Didn't get freezer burn, thank God. Oh, that's good. I watched the news about earthquake in Philippines, same like Nepal. Yeah, Mina was telling me about that. She said it shook so hard you could not stand up. She's in Kathmandu. Hey, Meme Galto, how are you? That sounds good. BLT, man. Remember, folks, I told everybody to be careful about conspiracy theories. People came in here yesterday. Oh, Qatar building a base in Idaho. And I got caught up in it because everybody was serious about it. And thank God for Mob Rules. He took the time to research it. Said, no, they're not. The U.S. is building and owns the training facility to train Qatar troops how to operate and fly the F-16s that they have purchased. That's it. The media is a liar. Be careful. Good morning, Sir Jacob. I don't have any lettuce. Mina, Ellie and Doggy said hello to you. I like it when everybody gets along. We as Christians need to be able to reach across to other cultures with the love of God. What is dippy eggs? Dippy eggs. Mina's 40 years old and she's looking for a husband, boys. Well, Ellie, I'm glad you're okay. The Philippines is no joke. Volcanoes, earthquakes, typhoons, they get it all. Charleston got flooded yesterday. Charleston, which one? Charleston, South or North Carolina, I don't even know which is which. I have 15 green tomatoes. I have an appointment with a deep fryer. That's funny. How much eating? You know me, I snack all the time. If Filipinos swim in the flood and play volleyball. You know what, though, Ellie? I couldn't believe how many Filipino ladies I meet in Hong Kong and they don't know how to swim. And I said, wow, how do you live in an island and you don't know how to swim? Come on now. That should be required education. With all the flooding and the tsunamis, and not tsunamis, but the tidal surge. Yeah, you got to know how to swim. I didn't learn to swim until I was just about middle school. Salty. about that. Just fire it up again. Put some good soap in there and let it sit. Off to church. Anybody want to go to church with me this morning? Man, I wish I could do that. I wish I could put my hand up with the screen and you take my hand, I pull you in and we go. Mina, because I'm hungry. Michael eating a packet of food. Yeah, chips, granola, cashews. Tonight, we need to have ground chicken. Doggy, stop all that. Stop asking all that. Mina is my friend. I love her and I love all of you the same. We are not a couple, Ellie. That is not correct. Ellie, stop it. You're being makulit. Makulit. Ellie, she's too far. Cannot. No, my skin is red every day. Ellie, nice try. I say I love you to all of the ladies. To all the girls I've loved before. My voice is cracking. Hey, Grease Spot. Distance is but an illusion when it comes to love. Ellie, I've been through that before with a Filipina. Never again. Too much money, too much attorneys, too much paperwork. I got stuff to do. You know, Ellie, it's 1 day and 16 hours just to get from here to her country. It's $4,000 round trip and an airplane to get to Kathmandu from here. That's too expensive. And Mina, it's just a sweatshirt. It's just a boring, this is what I wear at night. I just wore it for the first time last night. Last night was the first night, no ceiling fan. It's weird. It gets down to 75 in the house and I feel it. Man, when we get down in the 20s next month, it's going to be, ugh. You get so used to that heat. Doggy, would you like to be my friend? Nobody's stealing me. The first person that shows an interest in me and they're within a relative near distance, then we got something to talk about. But we have to have chemistry and other things in play. Yeah, it's in the 50s at night here, Jessica. Jessica and Cheryl are closer than you guys. They're in the United States. I don't have to visa them. I don't have to immigrate them. It's better for me to find a woman here. Cheryl, don't leave. Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? All right, folks, I gotta cut it. I gotta go. I don't know why she did. That's not like her. We are family. Jessica and Eugenia did not get mad. Thank you, ladies. And I'm sorry, I don't believe that Ellie and Mina are weird. That's not right. That's not right. That's not right. No, Zach. Mina is pretty. So is Ellie over there. Ellie's beautiful and she knows it. If I can find her YouTube channel, which she still won't show it to me for some reason. Who's Discord trolls? That don't make any sense. Yeah, you know what? Who's that? Yep, I can't find it, Ellie. I typed that in YouTube. It doesn't exist from my end. I'm telling you the truth. You sent it to me in Messenger. I said Ellen-N7Y. Doesn't pull up anything. Because I can't find it. I told you, you have to go on my video on the shorts. You know, the one with me dancing for 60 seconds in the yard? Leave a comment. So that I can go, I cannot, okay, watch this. Channel activity. Okay, I can pull you up. You joined 1 year ago. You have 9 subscribers. Why does that say Makin Bacon? That's Macon. Man, I hate this tech stuff. Wrong. You have to say, I cannot find your channel. If I type Ellie Gonzalez in the search, it pulls up a ton of Ellies, and none of them are you. I'm sorry, the ladies that are in here right now are not weird. I don't know why Cheryl said that. I don't know what's going on. Mina's a good soul, okay? And I've told Mina on chat, I cannot marry you. I can't even come over there. With what's going on in our world today. And there's a travel advisory against people going to Nepal. Yeah, I saw. I just started a job. I can't just spend $4,000 and go fly to see somebody I can't be with. I'm not doing that. I could go to the Philippines easier than I could go to Kathmandu. And I cannot stay with her. Her parents have some strict rules. So, you know, I don't know Kathmandu. I don't know anything. And I don't have a desire to get involved on a marital level with somebody that far away. I did it with Beth, not her real name, in the Philippines. And that was a 4-year disaster. Cost a lot of money. It'd be easier for me to visit Ellie than it would be to visit Mina, because you have to make connecting flight. It's ridiculous. And then you wait in airport, and airport, and airport. 2 days just to go one way? That's crazy. If I've got 2 weeks vacation, why am I going to take 4 days of my vacation in airports? No thanks. Not doing it. No, but you can still witness and teach, Ellie. You can teach ladies. All right, folks, Michael's got to go. I got to go. I'll be back in a few hours. Actually, not a few hours, less than that. You didn't get blocked, Zach. I see you. You all have a good day. Be safe. God bless you. Today is church. Tomorrow's work. Ellie, thank you. Thank you, Eugenia. Have a blessed day. Mina, have a good day or a good evening there. Jessica, take care. See you, Chris.